Alright, here we go with Volgarr the Viking on the PC. This is Stage 6, Fafnir's Tower. Let's check it out. Okay, so after you beat all 5 stages, the seal will be broken on the tower, and you go ahead and walk right in. So the way this one works is there are, I believe, 12 floors, and so you have to get through all 12 of these to get to the last boss, which is Fafnir. And you'll run into all the enemies that you've faced throughout the game. So here there's a lot of, actually they're from all the levels. You got some from the first stage and some from the stage you just beat, which was the airship stage. The interesting thing about this level is that each time you go into a door and you proceed to the next floor, if you die on the current floor, you'll start over at that floor, so you won't have to do the entire tower over again. You know, I'm not necessarily sure if I like that. You know, the rest of this game has been built on, you know, you getting through the entire like outdoor stage and then getting to the indoor level without dying. And here, you know, you can basically get through, you know, this area, and once you go into the door, you don't have to do this again, you know, if you die later. So in a way, you don't really have to master each of these floors in order to be successful at getting to the last boss. And you know, I don't know why they decided to do that with this stage in particular. Maybe it just seemed like it was too long, and maybe testers were saying, you know, maybe that's a little too difficult. But you know, I don't know if I would have minded doing the whole thing over again. These individually aren't too difficult, and so and there's things hidden. You know, there's Mjolnir powers hidden in a few of these stages. I don't know if I've found them all, but there's one here, I believe. Yeah, so there's you start to get an instinct for where those power-ups are. And so yeah, I thought it was interesting that the game got, I guess, shall we say, easier, you know, on this this final level, at least of the Crystal Path. I've not played the Valkyrie ones yet, so that will be next. So here, you know, you're taking care of enemies that you've seen in the fire stage, and then those bird-like creatures from the last level. And here's some guys from the first stage. So heading on up another floor. And so I guess the other interesting thing about this is that, you know, it's just a tower. So in terms of environment variety, you're not left with a whole lot. I mean, this is pretty basic stuff here. But in terms of a lead up to the final boss, I guess it's pretty cool. And the combinations at which the enemies come at you are pretty different and pretty unique. So that might remind you of the water level right there, but then you have the dragon from the fire stage, or the lizard man from the fire stage rather. So you take him out, and yeah, you'll still make mistakes here, which is always frustrating. But again, the risk is low because you don't have to do these over again. That would have been interesting if you actually slid down that and you had to face him close up. You can take them out very, very quickly if you do that. But I guess for the sake of this first playthrough, I'm just kind of taking it easy and going pretty carefully. So here, just got to traverse these chains. There's a chest up here. You can grab, just watch out for those spears that come out of the wall at the top. There's a boat in the lava this time. And so again, I think it's kind of cool that they mix up all the various, not just enemies, but environmental attributes from past stages. And I just missed a chest up there. And right here I'm just kind of getting sloppy. I take out that skeleton and thinking maybe I should have got that chest, but that's okay. And so this one's kind of neat. You just got to face the right way, getting past these spears. Again, probably a much faster way. You can probably double jump up those, save yourself a lot of time. Get past this. I could have jumped right there, but decided to wait one more time. Go ahead and get across. And what I found so interesting is that, you know, even though I've faced these enemies time and time again, I guess in the context of meeting them in this stage, you know, I just make a lot of mistakes. So I found that was a funny little mental game that this game was playing with me. So here, yeah, thankfully the fireballs that go from one pit to another, they move really slow, so they're easy to predict. Alright, heading on up to the next stage. These little darts from the first temple. And just throw some spears into the walls up here. Get past these guys. Just time your jumps around the spears. Red Lizard Man. Again, make a kind of a silly mistake there. Spider up there, just watch out for him, kind of blends into the background. And so since this was my first time through, I was starting to wonder, wow, how many floors is this? I mean, is it like some of the Zelda games where there's 50? It wouldn't have surprised me if there were, but yeah, thankfully there's only about 12. And here I'm like, I think I can, yeah, just go ahead and skip past them. There are those short guys with the goggles. And a lot of these kind of beaked biped guys from the first level. So take care of all those nuisances and then throw some spears up here to get the chest. Just wasting a lot of time trying to get up here. It's painful even for me to watch, so I can only imagine what it's like for people watching this on YouTube. Take care of him and go ahead and roll down there and you can get another chest. Very sloppy. And my apologies for kind of running out of stuff to talk about. Yeah, and I like this. Oh, you know, one thing I did want to talk about is the fact that this game did get patched a number of times. Crazy Viking Studios has done a really good job in keeping this game updated, and so I can't remember which patch it was, but they finally allowed you to keep the game zoomed out. So the zoom feature was one of the most valuable aspects or features of the game. And so I always liked it because you could see ahead and it could make these levels a little more strategic instead of feeling like, you know, you're kind of running in blind, leading to a lot of deaths. And so at first I didn't use it. I wanted to play through the game kind of as originally intended. But by the time I got to about stage 4, stage 5, I started to realize it didn't necessarily make the game easier. In fact, when you can see more enemies, it can really throw off the way you approach each area. So when I started to play the first stage again, zoomed out, I was dying a lot just because my rhythm and what I was seeing on the screen was very different from what I was used to in the zoomed in mode. But like for levels like this, and you know, for the last one, which was the airship stage, I played those completely zoomed out, and yeah, I thought it was very helpful. I still died a good number of times, and see, like here, even though I know those bats are up there, I'm still getting hit by them. But I like the zoomed out mode. It allows you to see more, and yeah, I just think it looks cool. So hopping up here, moving on to the next level. More fire and spears coming out of the ground. And so, yeah, some other things that I've mentioned a number of times already about Volgarr is just how nice it feels to play, and how the the jumping and everything, it's very predictable, and that's what I think I like the best about this game. You know, the challenge is great and everything, but I've come to really appreciate the design and how everything is designed around Volgar's really good tight controls that, you know, once you start a jump, if you're moving to the left and you jump, you cannot change directions in the air unless you do a double jump to either cancel your forward momentum or jump backwards. And you know, that takes a little getting used to, but it also makes some of the areas as special as they are and memorable, just because Crazy Viking Studios did design so much of this game around those control mechanics. So again, kudos to them for really sticking to the or being disciplined to really stick with that control scheme and design this great game around it. So really good stuff. Alright, so I don't know how close I am. I must be getting close to the end. We're about 11 minutes in already. So here, take out more of these guys. And those guys, when they do slide on the ground, you can block low and send them flying backwards. So they won't damage you if you have a shield and you block low as they're coming towards you, rather. Sorry. So jump up. I was thinking there might be something in that wall, but there isn't. Take that spider and then jump on down here. You can just use those bats to your advantage. Be very careful with those the zombies. If you do chop them low, the top halves will fly at you, and if you're not careful, they will hit you. And so right here, that's kind of an example of, you know, what you wouldn't see if the camera was zoomed in. So you can see enemies pretty far in advance, so you can plan out smarter attacks, which I like. I believe there might only be maybe this one in another area. There's Mjolnir power on that wall right there. Let's take out those fire-spitting snakes. Skeleton. And this, I think in this one, yeah, the red skeleton, I still sometimes have problems with the timing on these guys, so especially if you don't have your fire sword. If you don't have your fire sword, they take, I believe, 3 hits instead of 2. So I think he falls down there, and I'm like, okay, well, just go right past him. Grab the chest. Get my shield. Alright. Take care of this guy. And then, once again, you can use these bats to take out these clam/oysters. And then just time your rolls underneath those pillars. And take them out. A little faster just to swing at them. 8 hits without the fire sword. Jump on up here. And yeah, this is the last area, so it's a nice lineup of enemies waiting for you on that top platform. Plus a spider on the ceiling, so just be careful of him. My helm. A few more. Some zombies there, just for good measure. And I think here, if you do a rolling double jump off that top platform, you can get to that chest, but I missed it. So just take care of that person, and then there's the guy from the last stage. He does his swoop, then he'll come straight down. Hit him a few times, and he'll do the thrusts. Whoops. That worked out to my advantage, though. Took out all of those enemies, so I don't have to worry about them. Oh, 666 on the treasures. Not a good omen. And here we go with the final boss. Again, Crazy Viking Studios was quite merciful right there, giving you full power-ups before coming in here. And that's Fafnir. Turns into this big blue dragon. Looks pretty intimidating, but you know, if you keep your fire sword and you stay right above that crack right there in the floor, he won't be able to hit you. And now he'll shoot these lightning bolts. You just kind of jump over them. Like you can put a spear in the ceiling or a spear in the wall and hit him a few more times with your powered up spear, I believe. You know, he'll kind of fly around, fire those explosive loogies. Come back down, do a few more of your double jumps to hit him, and then he'll power up this blue orb, and that's when you just hack away. He'll come down and just swing at him. And if you've hit him a few times up to this point, you'll take him out there and won't have to worry about his next wave of attacks. And so that is stage 6. Grab your treasures. And you are done. So that is that will lead to ending C, which is the quote-unquote worst ending of the game. And after that, you can get ending B, which takes it has a couple requirements for you to see it, and then ending A, which is the Path of the Valkyrie, and that's what I'll be doing next. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.